Thomas raising up the king, queen, then in the cutoff, and Diogo, well, getting out of line, 3-betting the king 3 off from the button, leveraging his position against Thomas's 30 big blind stack. And we've seen this, Thomas has already taken a defensive strategy against this by limping in late position a couple of times, so now obviously raising it up, we can see why. Diogo going straight after him. But more importantly, Mike, I mean, well, you're putting your glasses on because that shirt's kind of dazzling, right?
I'm getting a little dizzy looking at it there. Does the scarf even match it? I'm not sure it does, but
maybe you need your glasses just to see that it was king 3 offsuit.
It's like one of those eye test things there. It's
90.
Whoa.
Yeah, well, we had Marcel in the booth earlier and saying he used to wear a few of these shirts back in the days in Amsterdam. Wow, what a flop this is. Disaster for Diogo. Wow. King 5 flop. Thomas trip kings with a queen kicker and Diogo with the 3 kicker. I mean, he's taken a play here, guys, and well, the deck's not rewarded him.
I mean, this is all going to go in, isn't it, at some stage?
Yeah. Sounds like a great opportunity for Thomas to double up here to me. Neither one I'm getting away from 3 kings, that's for sure.
Diogo not slow playing his hand. He does bet 12 million. Thomas will just call, you'd imagine. There it is. And as Alex says, you feel like it has to go in. He's got less than pot back as it is.
He'll probably go in by the river. It'll be another small bet on the turn, I imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Rather than just shoving for pot.
Thomas does check it over. Diogo, again, now I think he's got the best hand for sure.
Pre-flop's really interesting that he 3-bet this hand when he's Thomas has been limping a lot.
Yeah, we've seen Thomas limp a couple of buttons and now decides to 3-bet this, but obviously the blinds have gone up and Thomas had won some more chips.
Yeah, it's a great spot to put pressure, but it's just interesting that maybe he thought that Thomas would limp a big hand if he had been limping before.
Right.
Can't hear you.
So that's 15 into 65.
It just calls.
Yeah.
Does not raise here.
He does just call. And well, the 9 on the river will change nothing, and as you say, Alex, you can almost be certain this will go, what, check and then a shove.
Yeah.
And, well, a pretty fast call.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to see ace-king sometimes, but there's, yeah, you're just snap calling this, I imagine.
Wow.
I wonder what Diogo actually think he's going to get called by when he I mean, he will shove, but
right.
It's one of those spots where is this guy calling? Well, what 10s probably goes in pre-flop. He's hoping to get called by 6s, 7s, 8s.
Right, he needs to get heroed off here by a pocket pair. Or of course, Thomas may have maybe perhaps got sneaky pre-flop with a hand like the aces.
Yeah, that's possible. Yeah, I mean, I suppose you do have to shove, but
he does move it all in, and we'll get snapped. That's the one thing he didn't want to happen, was to get snapped. And well, he will show his king, queen, and so another double up on this final for Thomas. He right back in the mix now with 182 million chips, and well, Diogo is now down to the just over 30 big blind stack.
All in, isn't it?
He's got to start making some moves, and he does move those chips across the line. Well, Stevie will give it up. It's down to Dom in the big blind, and well, ace-7. I mean, this is a much different situation, right? He's going to have to call here, you would have thought.
Yeah, I think he's just checking, taking his time to make sure.
I don't know.
12 big blinds, ace-7. It's not going to impact his stack.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, he knows Adam's shoving wide on this.
It would be a blow. I think he has to call here.
Doesn't often take this long, Don.
Well, he didn't call before with ace-queen. I don't know if he's going to call here with ace-7.
Right, he is going to flick in one of those, I guess, 25 million chip pots, new blue chips in play. So Dom does call it off with ace-7. Adam at risk of being eliminated in 8th place here. The Partypoker Live Millions Grand Final main event.
Ace of clubs.
Oh, he has the largest rail in the room, that's for sure. They will go crazy if he wins this pot. And he's in pretty good shape, 44% here with his Queen 10.
You don't mind that when you get called. It's about the best you can hope for, I think.
That's the best spot I think Dom could have been in.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to be in great shape with A7 off. Here's a small favourite here. And an 80 million chip pot then. And well, 7-8-4. The 7 doesn't change too much. Only give him a couple extra outs if he were to be outdrawn on the turn. So Adam will need one of those 6 cards.
Man, it could backdoor straight and win.
Well, there's his chance. Jack on the turn, and 9 will now give him a straight. Queen or 10 for a winning pair.
He picks up 4 more outs.
Never easy.
Never easy, says Alex for Dom. He wants to see the board just pair up. And the river is the 9.
He does backdoor the straight. Sets back down. The dream continues. Sums it up pretty good.
It's not a controversial opinion.
No, most people would agree with that. Months of anguish, but you get that couple of days of joy. It makes it all worthwhile, and you forget about those bad days.
Yeah, exactly. I got a bit of a taste for it this trip.
I'll tell you the truth.
Yeah, I might play a few more.
It is so true. I think poker is the most mentally tough sport to play in the world, without a doubt. You've got to be able to handle defeat. If you can't, you'll go stir crazy, bounce your head off the wall.
And tournament
boy,
poker.
those few times you get there and make a nice cash makes up for all those horrible beats and bad walkouts that you have in the room.
Yeah,
It's amazing how one good score, just keeps you fresh for another year or so.
Well, I don't know. You'd be amazed the number of people that you find moaning a month after a huge win.
Yeah.
They bust a tournament on day one, and you're posting bad beat stories on Facebook. And
well, that was, it's always the thing. Main event champions can't complain for their lifetime.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Totally
if you won the World Series main event, that's it. You just
totally agree.
Yeah.
Or the one drop or anything like that. I agree.
I'm sure we've all seen past main event champions tut and curse at things, though.
Hard to take them seriously when they do so. Well, there must be some sort of statute of limitations on that now. Like if we go back, I mean, does Moneymaker, can he start complaining again? Yeah, I mean.
Well, I did make a vow that if I didn't go out on the bubble with the one-drop tournament, I was down to 10. They paid 9. 10th was 0. 9th was well over $1 million. And I said, please, Lord, just don't let me go out on the bubble here. I'll never complain about going on the bubble again as long as I live the rest of my life.
You made that
and I made it there, so I can't complain if I ever go right on the bubble again. And
you got that in writing.
And of course, you wake up.
I've come close, but I'm not complaining anyway, no matter what.
Of course, I know you wake up each day and thank Sam Trickett for busting that bubble for you nice and quick.
Sam Trickett will always be my poker hero. Called a 4.2 million raise in that spot with a King 8 offsuit. I'll never forget it. And he had the guy beat the guy at Queen 10. It's amazing.
Well, look at this spot. It's quite interesting when we were talking there. Thomas went for nearly a full pot C-bet on 9 deuce deuce with his Queen Jack. It's checked down since then. Interesting sizing from Thomas.
Full pot. Wow.
Yeah, he fired huge on this flop. And it's run out running hearts. Stevie's hand got weaker and weaker on every street. Well, it is on him. 47 in the pot. Again, as you were saying, this is so big because if you win this pot, you stop your opponent winning it, and you can see how close they are in chips now, so it makes a big difference to your position in the tournament.
Thomas seemingly has no choice but to bluff here.
Yeah.
I mean, Stevie's got a 9, a huge amount of the time here.
Right.
I guess a deuce, some deuces that doesn't check raise. But majority 9x here. And
is it worth risking half the pot? Something like 20 million, 22 million here?
Yeah, you definitely don't need to go big. You can feasibly have a reasonable amount of flushes that bet flop and check turn. One heart, I mean.
Right.
And like he's got, but with the Jack of Hearts, for example.
Right, if he had Queen Jack off and he made this big bet on the flop.
So it is believable. So he needs to bet a size where he can have, a Jack high flush or a 10 high flush, rather than, betting a pot where he's only representing a much narrower value range.
Right. As we've discussed quite a lot this week, that's the thing. Not necessarily betting big to make your opponents fold, but betting smaller to open up your value range. And well, it looks like he's listening. He's bet 20 million.
20 million.
Boy.
Yeah, Mike got one.
The perfect size bet. Chidwick knows he's not going to bet a pair of kings here. He's probably just going to check it down.
Yeah.
So this is the kind of guy that's capable of
Stevie's going to go for
looking him up here.
the check rep the nines full.
I mean, he is that good a player. He can make this call with 2 nines.
This would be a phenomenal call.
100.
Yes,
Wow.
he's gone for the check rip. He's repping the nines full.
Wow.
There we go. That's my boy,
Awesome.
Stevie.
Well, I'm glad I stayed to the end.
That is my
Whoa.
boy.
That was sick.
Stevie's like, I can have nines full, you can't. Let's go.
Ace 10 off.
Action then
I mean, I don't
folding
think
its
so.
way around to Stevie.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
No one's going to raise a pot up, Mike, when Stevie's got the button.
It's always like.
I'll tell you one thing. If you just tuned in, folks, don't change that dial because there's not a weak link at this table. I can assure you of that. These guys can all play.
Well, Stevie does raise up that button. And Thomas defends ace 6.
As you said, nobody 3-betting him with ace high.
No. You're just a brave man who tries to play a pot when Stevie's got the button. It's tough enough as it is. When he's got position, well, good luck.
It's kind of flop that could hit his opponent, though, with 8s or 7s. But here comes the C-bet by Steven. It's half the size of the pot, 10,500,000. Now Thomas is going to make a good call here.
Yeah.
His problem is, how much more heat can he take if Steven apps to apply it?
Yeah, well, that's a just good turn cover. Him gives him an open-ended straight draw.
Yep. Very good card for him.
Sounds like someone won a pot in the side event there, Mike. A lot of cheering in the background.
I like it when players get happy when they win.
Yeah. Nice to see some emotion.
Well, Steven fires again, this time 30 million.
There's a lot of pressure on Thomas here. That's a third of his remaining chips.
Yep. You want to call so bad with this open-end straight draw. Your problem is, if you miss it, what are you going to do on the next street?
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? He's put Thomas in a situation where Thomas pretty feels like if he wants to play this hand, he might have to just raise all in. But he does make the call, suspecting his ace high is still good.
Well, we were talking about the 3-barrel bluff. Well, we see one more.
I think Stevie might well give this one up.
He's not a give-up kind of guy.
That's true. And also, what hand does Thomas check call the turn with rather than check jam? A lot of overcards would have scared him, and just 60 million behind 100
And the
million
king could
apart.
well scare him as well.
Yeah.
I can assure you.
You're
He
right.
could easily have king-queen here instead of queen-jack.
Well, here you go.
I told you. He doesn't scare easy, this guy.
He moves it all in. Thomas put to the sword.
What a player.
Thomas with just ace high. How can you call this bet? Surely he has to give this up.
I think you have to. You know the guy might be pinching the pot, but you're out of the tournament if you're wrong.
For the second time. A couple of hands. Stevie just bullying Thomas out of these pots. So Stevie then up to 220 million in chips.
And folks, he's earned those chips. It's not like he's made the best hand every time. He's gone pot after pot, it seems like, making a play to win a pot. Just incredible. This guy is incredible. I'll tell you the truth.